let's talk some football here in New York.
Yeah.
And,
Gangrene.
there was some chaos last night.
A big scare, to say the least.
A big scare. I mean, God, it was chaotic. But Zack Wilson, so he suffers a non-contact injury, which, first of all, non-contact injuries, you think, okay, it's done.
Yep.
It's
I
done.
thought it was torn ACL. I texted my friends. I was terrified. But update is that it's a torn meniscus and a bone bruise, and he's only going to be out 2 to 4 weeks.
Right, yeah, the timetable.
It's a slightly torn meniscus.
They got the timetable, so the worst fears were torn ACL. That's not the case now.
That would have been season ending.
He's going to miss, it believed, 2 to 4 weeks. So really, with the timetable, he could be back by week 1.
Yeah,
Which I don't think that's likely. I think 2 to 4 weeks is the best case scenario, but
Yeah.
I think, given what he could have been, Tyler, Jets fans, this has to be the biggest sigh of relief they've probably ever taken.
I know our supervising producer Ryan Gregor just took the biggest sigh of relief ever behind the scenes. I can't hear him obviously.
Oh, he was going through it last night.
He texted me he was not happy. I don't think any Jet fans were going through it. I had Jet fans telling me they were going to drink themselves into depression.
Well, even I wasn't happy because
I was sad. I was like, dude, Zack Wilson's awesome. I want him to be good.
I mean, listen, I'm a Giants fan,
I'm a Giants
but
fan too, yeah.
Zach Wilson, this is his second year in the league, and
Exciting.
it's exciting, and I thought he was going to be better because, they built around him. So then you think torn ACL, oh my goodness, it was brutal. Just
back.
the range of emotions
Jets
that
can't catch a break, especially
Right.
Mekhi Becton just got hurt.
Right, the Mekhi Becton thing, he's out for the whole
Holy
season.
Yeah, that's terrible. I feel so
But
bad for him.
now that it's just a meniscus,
It's torn meniscus.
Torn meniscus.
I'm going to assume partially torn because
partially torn.
the timetable is Rich Samini and Schefter retweeted it and reported it. It's 2 to 4 weeks, which is really not that bad. If it's 2 weeks, he's back by the season opener. If it's 4 weeks, he misses 1 or 2 games.
Right. And Schefter said at the end of his tweet, the Jets consider it fortunate news, which you have to.
Oh, they called a massive break.
Could you imagine if he was done the whole season, and then you're going to war with Mike White and Joe Flacco?
I respect Mike White, the best.
Respect Mike White, but
the greatest quarterback to
come
ever
on.
do it. But Joe Flacco.
You can't play the Bengals every week if you're Mike White.
Yeah. Well, they do play the Bengals.
They play them once.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they start off the season. It's funny. They start off the season.
It's
with
4
4
AFC North teams. It's the Ravens, Browns, Bengals, and Steelers.
That's actually really fun. Like that's so weird. Like just starting a
Yeah.
season. off
Who
with
who
4.
made this NFL schedule?
Who made the
here?
schedule? Listen, first of all, I love it because it's fun. First of all, I am so looking forward to this NFL season with all the
obviously.
changes that have gone around this offseason.
Yeah, it's been a crazy offseason.
It's been a hectic offseason. It feels like every team's made a massive move or a massive trade.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got Russell Wilson moving conferences. You got Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about Cleveland.
And you got a lot of young teams that maybe could progress, and the Jets are one of them. The Jets are one of the teams where it's like okay, year 1 of Zack Wilson, they knew they weren't going to be good.
Right.
They knew they were set up for a 4-win season.
But I really like what the culture they're building. You know,
Exactly. I think Saleh is a really nice coach. He's a culture guy.
Yeah, they love him. They would run through a brick wall for the guy.
And it was
I'd run through a brick wall for the guy.
Exactly. It was the same thing in San Francisco too when he was D coordinator there.
Yep.
You saw his energy on the sidelines.
He's
just a
he's
great guy.
Great dude, and like he's a guy that any player in the NFL should want to play for. Just because you saw how he rallied around Mekhi Becton when Becton got hurt. He's like, dude, we love Mekhi. Like we wish him the best. We want him back. Like. That's a player's coach. That's a dream right there. Like it's such a contrast. Like last year we had to see Joe Judge with the Giants. Oh my God, that made me want to, because it's like I'm not gonna say anything because I'm on air. Commit unspeakable acts, but it's such a contrast. Saleh's just like, and you got Joe Douglas in the front office, who's pretty much I think he's won every.
Joe Douglas is doing a really good job.
He's done a phenomenal job.
He's putting the right pieces around Zach, in my opinion. Like he's getting these young receivers, and
he's building a very good team. Not very good team, but like a team that has
a competent team,
a
team that like okay,
potential.
You can work with something here,
right. And
exactly.
They have potential. It's a young team, hungry, fun. As I said, this is a team that could surprise people. The Jets. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Jets do this season. Sure, they have a very tough start to the year, but I think that I think they're the second best team in that division.
What?
I'm serious.
Over the Dolphins and the Patriots.
Yeah,
that's a crazy take.
I'm extremely low on the Patriots. I think the Patriots are toward the end of their
Listen,
run.
I'm optimistic about the Jets, especially now that Zack Wilson's. But that's crazy.
The Dolphins didn't help their offensive line enough, and I just don't believe as much as I believe in Zack Wilson. I've said it to Ryan before. I've said it to a bunch of people. I think the Jets are the second best team. It's a hot take for a reason.
Yeah, it's a scorching hot take.
It's a scorching hot take, but you know what? Why not get crazy? I really like what the Jets are building. I think their defense is going to be really good. Robert Saleh is a really good defensive play caller. He's a good coach. I think he's going to be a good head coach going forward. Obviously, it's too early to tell, setting it in stone. But I think that he's a guy that the players like. And I think Mike LaFleur he can be a solid play caller. This last time Saleh, what do you call it? This is a healthy Jets defense. And this Jets...
Carl Lawson's back, which is big.
Carl Lawson's back. You get John Franklin Myers and Quinn Williams in the interior. They switched to a 4-3, which Saleh... I think they're switching to a 4-3, which is Saleh's scheme. They just got Quan Alexander free agency to pair up with C.J. Mosley in the back. Their front seven's dangerous. Then you look... Their secondary... Sauce Gardner could be really good. I really believe in Sauce Gardner. He's my favorite corner.
I was looking at the Giants and thinking that they could take him maybe.
I'm happy with Kayvon and Evan.
I'm happy how it turned out, but he was one of the guys I was looking at. But.
Right, Sauce is a stud. Bryce Hall is one of the most underrated corners in the NFL. DJ Reed's underrated. LaMarcus Joyner on the back end. Jordan Whitehead is going to be.
Listen, they have a lot of good pieces, and for the first time in a while, there's reason to be optimistic.
Like I really do think that the Jets are.
I shouldn't say first time in a while because there was optimism going into 2019. That was the second year of Darnold and then the year they got Le'Veon.
Yeah, well,
and we know how those two guys are not there anymore.
We know how that ended, but the reason why I say second best team, I don't think the Dolphins are going to take that big of a step. The Dolphins could either be a wild
They have
card
Tyreek. They have Tyreek Hill.
So be it. It doesn't really.
It's going to change that offense.
Sure, but the offensive line still isn't great. I just don't think Tua is like a Joe Burrow where he can make that massive leap. There's something about it. Like the Dolphins, I think the Jets are going to go like 7-10 or 8-9, and
you think the Dolphins and Pats are doing worse than that?
I think the Pats go like 6-11. I think the Dolphins go 7-10. I'm not very high on the Dolphins. I'm very low on the Pats.
Well, I'm not complaining about where you have the Jets ranked because it's probably not ranked where you think that they're going to be record wise because I think any Jets fan would take that.
This is also my way too early predictions and this is all tentative. Like it's all tiebreaker.
Sure.
I think originally I had the Dolphins in second place, but I think the Jets could win that tiebreaker and get second. Just because I'm really high on the Jets. Like I think Zack Wilson's looked really good in camp, and now we get the good news that he's only going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks.
Right, and
they weren't going to win week 1 anyway.
So and the thing is, this doesn't. So now the injury doesn't change their outlook on
they don't have
the
to trade,
season.
They don't have to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo.
That was the guy that people were talking about. The second Zack Wilson went down, it was like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jets fans should be thanking themselves,
the wheel started spinning in every Jets fan's head, like, oh, we can't do Flacco and Mike White, like Jimmy G, give him to me.
Yeah, but I'm pretty high on the Jets. Like I've been high on the Jets. You can ask anybody back there.
I think you've made that very clear.
I made it very
point.
clear. Usually I wouldn't say that, but I've been around for the rebuild. I've been watching them because I grew up around Jets and Giants fans. Like, it's 50-50 split, but I know a lot of Jets fans. I know, like, I've grown up around the rebuild. I love what they're building. They drafted extremely well this year. They made the requisite moves to just make themselves a little more competitive. And by where I'm projecting them, it's all based on how Zack Wilson does, really.
Right, and it is how is his decision making going to be better? Because now you're curious, like, how is he going to be running with the football after that scare yesterday?
Yeah.
Is he going to be a little more cautious? Maybe is he going to slide instead of trying to juke people out like he was yesterday?
Yeah, he's going to have to learn how to slide.
Yeah.
He's got to take some notes out of Trey Lance's book. We saw Trey Lance on his first run. He slid.
Yeah.
Another second-year quarterback who, I am.
No, Zack Wilson's a second-year quarterback, too.
Yeah, same class. Another guy I'm beyond excited for. But we're not really talking about the 49ers here.
We're going over the Jets.
We're going over the Jets. First of all, I'm glad that Zack Wilson's not seriously hurt.
Right. That's first and foremost. I think every football fan, you're looking at a second-year quarterback, and you're looking to see the second year is really you're looking to see some development. That's where most QBs, young QBs, kind of hit their stride.
Second year is that step. Third year is the he's got to make it.
Like Josh Allen was kind of a rare case where it's like
guy.
He was a third year. Like, okay, now I'm going to make the leap.
Mahomes was a second year guy.
You can just go on. Lamar. You can just go on and on and on about this.
Tyler, anybody. I don't know. I think I'm really. I like what the Jets are building. Breece Hall is another weapon. Michael Carter. They have so many weapons on offense, and none of them are like.
None of them are. They don't have stars, but they have weapons that can do something.
They have star potential.
Like star potential. Like Elijah Moore has star potential.
Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson can be a star. Breece Hall can be a star.
Yeah.
Zack Wilson can be a star. It's really me just banking on upside, but I really, I like what the Jets are building. So, I mean, looking forward,
I guess
what do you think on like them, like record wise?
I think the same as you. I think they're gonna go 7-10 and show improvement. I think they're gonna finish in last.
You think the AFC East?
In the AFC East, yeah, they're gonna finish in last.
Ooh, I think they
again over the Patriots and the Dolphins. The Dolphins got better,
and the Patriots didn't.
But the Patriots are the Patriots. They're not gonna finish 6-11 under Bill Belichick.
Yeah. I think it's changing.
The Jets.
Listen, this is also me pushing their agendas.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, the Jets they're a step below in the division. Like, I'm sorry, so it's another year where you're not expecting to contend, but you want to see improvement. And then now, year 3 of Zack Wilson, and then year 2 of the receivers. Another year of Elijah Moore.
Year 1 of Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I was blanking on his name for a second.
Yeah, you're good.
And then Breece Hall, if he can develop into a nice running back.
Davis is the big body Z receiver.
Like there's a lot of talent to work with on this team. But now with Zack Wilson, the question is he going to be ready for Week 1? Because I think we all know he's not stepping on the field in another preseason game. That goes without saying.
They got to sit him. Do not rush him back because I don't think
obviously. And
even with Zack Wilson, they're not beating Baltimore.
Right. And then Cleveland.
We're not going to talk about he who shall not be named. And
we'll say Cleveland. They're not going to beat Case Keenum, who I believe is. Oh no, he's not. He's not the quarterback. Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett.
Case Keenum's always a good name to just throw out there as like a backup.
Yeah, of course, he's the consensus backup. But I think Jimmy G might get traded to Cleveland. Honestly.
No.
If he gets suspended for the whole season.
If it's 6 games, they won't do it. But
if it's 6 games, they won't do it. But if it's the whole season.
But listen, I mean the schedule. I think you have to look at the first 4 games of the schedule.
The first half of the schedule before the bye week is brutal.
Oh, it's so bad.
If we look at it, the second half of the schedule's you got one tough game.
Honestly, like these first,
maybe 2.
Dude, these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
games.
8.
Look at the first 9 games.
9,
before
10. Oh, they don't have a break until like week. I don't know what week that is.
12,
November 20 or
Chicago.
November 27th.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago is the first like
12.
real breath in the schedule. So they actually, I mean, they play in a tough division. Regardless of what your outlook is, they play in a division with teams that are looking to still be playing in January.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I'm excited. Like iron sharpens iron. It's gonna
right.
It's gonna be
but now if you go into the first 3 games maybe without Zack Wilson, and you start 0-3, it's like okay, here we go again.
Which is expected, but like considering how tough these 3 teams are.
But you'd like to win. You got to win something.
I think they can beat Cleveland.
I think they can too.
I think they go 1-3 in their first 4, and then they beat Miami at home.
No, I see it.
And then from there on out, we'll see. I think they have a rough start.
Well, yeah, and the Jets, they've had a lot going on in their camp, like a lot of major stories, and obviously a lot of that's now
getting hurt.
Mekhi Becton, that's a big loss, and Zack Wilson last night. It was looking like that was going to be something huge, and it's really just not as big of a deal as many people thought it. But there were a lot of we were talking about this earlier, but there were a lot of people just saying like, "Yep, he has a torn ACL." Right. Who was the account that I saw that
Dr. David
literally said, "Yeah,
Chow or something."
Mm-hmm. Where is this tweet?
Yeah, he said like torn ACL. I've seen this before, and people were like, "Oh, he's usually not wrong about this stuff."
Ledger Duzabal believes Zack Wilson did indeed tear his ACL. This is a verified account too.
Yeah. A lot of verified accounts. A
lot of
people with checks that should not have checks on Twitter. Just so you know, like a lot of people do not.
A lot of people don't. You don't know the full story. So if you look at something without a blue check mark, like even if it ends up being right in the end,
it's questionable.
You don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know until you
listen,
see.
A lot of people with check marks that shouldn't have check marks. A lot of people that without check marks that are just trying to report stuff.
Exactly.
To get their name on the radar.
Right. So
It's
a lot of commotion coming from Jets camp.
Just wait till Schefter or Rappaport report something, and then that's the only thing we can trust.
Right. Exactly. That's who we're looking for here.